So, hi people, I am Daksh. I am the founder of Blub World magazine, which creates content for teenagers, and we try to find inspiration in teenagers. So, we find inspiring teens and then showcase them to different teenagers. So, during this journey, we have learned that we focus on creativity or innovation or different things that people are doing in the school education sector, whether it may be educators, school leaders, teachers, or even students. So this very web talk or this series of talks is to further document and showcase the different innovative approaches that have been taken by school leaders during this time of lockdowns. The topic being no lockdowns on learning. We'll be giving 3 minutes each to all the speakers. And in those 3 minutes, we would request that you try to share one big challenge that you're facing right now, one big learning that you've got while working in this scenario, and third, one vision that you think, a utopia vision that you think should come into place during this lockdown in your students or in your atmosphere so that school education improves in the coming time. So, three things: challenge, learning, and a vision. So, over to let's start with Gopalji. So, I'll mute my audio, then Gopalji can start with the 3 minutes. For timekeeping, there is Divi would put his hand up like this, and when you see his hand, it means that you have to stop or you have to conclude your talk. Okay, so over to Gopalji.
Okay. Thank you, Dakshi. And good evening, friends. I mean, my learned friends. Actually, you are very true. Like, this is a very challenging period in terms of a school administrator. What we feel as a team is keeping students psychologically hydrated, to tell the truth. For example, you can occupy them, giving them lots of assignments and all those things. But the biggest challenge I face is keeping them away from boredom, depression, as well as keeping them psychologically hydrated. See, you cannot repeat this to our students like you are under lockdown, you're under threat, don't go out, keep your hand, keep washing your hands. They feel more nervous, which is why what I thought as a head of the team is that why not we ask them to introspect, I mean, capitalizing this time and make them, feel this, realize this, that learning does not come from schooling itself. There is hardly anything between learning and schooling, and learning does not stop. And I would like to thank you, Dakshi, for keeping such a very relevant title of the talk, that there is no lockdown on learning. Therefore, we focused on revising the life skills that we keep learning from our life skills book. For example, doing the laundry, gardening, kitchen gardening, how much it takes to be a homemaker, see your mother and see, and whatever the things that you learn in your science books, doing the household electricals, devising a few jugar items. You must have seen some jugar videos in YouTube. Like, children from different parts of the world are doing something to help them. Therefore, the main focus, the content focus that we designed is keeping the knowledge and the application hand in hand. And we have designed a few worksheets and a few projects. For an example, I would like to mention one project, that is, I have given a project to grade 10 students because they face a challenge. I have named it problem solving engineering in the class. Their water bottles keep falling on the side. So I've asked them to design a water bottle that will not fall on the side, and even if it falls, it will rise again using the CG theory, center of gravity theory. Now, if they come out with this and successfully, that might be a revolutionary kind of invention by our 10th graders, and that might we might commercially launch it, and then we might share our technical know-how with other school children if they want such things. So, therefore, every grade has been given a project. We are also conducting online contests involving parents, because during this time, involvement of parents and with children is extremely important. So now, in a nutshell, our main focus in content is the application based knowledge through application, and mostly it is focused on problem solving engineering. It could be a problem in the kitchen your mother faces in her daily life. It might be a problem that you face in the classroom, and then how you can solve with the knowledge that you have got from the classroom, doing something good for the society, for the family, and for the mankind, as well as for school. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Gopalji. So, a very, I think, a learning that can be replicated or emulated in different schools. which is problem solving engineering, that try to give your students, typically they should be able to identify daily life problems and then find solutions to them. And that solution might be an innovative product in the coming time. So problem solving and entrepreneurship together. Let's hope we could use it in a much better way, and we could do some more permutations or experimentations in different schools. So now let's hear it from Appu Dey sir. So over to Appu sir. The next 3 minutes are yours.
Thank you, Dakshji. Here at Umed, we have a different clientele here, and we are facing lots of problem in conducting this online classes and online examination. We have started with this online examination. So first we wanted to make them familiar with the technology, whatever is available to us. And then we wanted to see how they use it so that we can take their assessment, because we are in the middle of our assessment, final assessment. So we have to finish it off so that we start online learning of the new session. So for that, we had some revision sessions, online revision sessions, and students and parents were participating on that. And there were lots of hiccups to downloading this Zoom, this, that, and we have seen that only in WhatsApp they are very good. And so we have started giving them revision sheets on WhatsApp group, and they used to download that, and they used to complete the worksheet and used to send it back to the concerned subject teachers. And then we wanted to conduct the assessment also in similar manner. But we wanted to monitor the students also, how they are doing, if they have any queries in the question, how to do that. So we have educated the parents how to download that Zoom, because we have our online application also. We are tie up with Extra Marks and Educom platform, and with assessment also we have one, but parents are not able to use those apps and technology. So we have devised our own technology, and so we will be sending the paper on Zoom, and the teacher who is invigilator will assess, will invigilate the exam from Zoom only. So they will get the paper on WhatsApp as well as on Zoom. So students have to sit in front of the Zoom and keeping their books aside, and they will be giving their paper. So they have to click on Zoom by 9, and by 9:15 everyone has to be on the Zoom. And then teachers will show them the paper on Zoom as well as on WhatsApp, and then they will start reading time for 15 minutes, and then after that 9:30 they will start the paper. And teachers, if they have any queries, they will raise their hands by Zoom, and teachers can unmute him and give him, clear his doubts. And by that, there will be some naughty students also will be doing some ruckers in the paper, so he can see through Zoom and he can keep guiding them. Hey, don't do that. You have to do, honesty is the best policy, do that honestly, let's see how you score. All this he will do, and to motivate them and to learn this, how means sitting at home also they can give the paper. We wanted to teach student that only, and to see the authenticity, that we have devised one more method, that after the paper is over, paper will be reduced to half marks. 80 marks paper is there, so it will be reduced to 40 marks, and 40 marks teacher will assess the paper and then take oral test on video calling to see the authenticity, that he have learned it and he know it, and then he will grade him, so that authenticity is there, that he has done it frankly and have done it by heart and other things, so that the authentic students only get the marks. The challenges what we got here in Abu Road is a small town, and this net connectivity, and to get the parents this educated was a difficult task. For that, our teachers have taken in, and they have taught them. Now we are in a phase that we can conduct the paper. So from this fourth or third of this month, we are starting the papers.
Okay.
Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Apu sir. So we have right till now we have talked to nearly 30, 40 principals, I suppose, from different parts of the world. And Appuji has been the first one to have been taking an examination through Zoom, because this is something new for us even, because people have been teaching on Zoom. There's been information delivery on Zoom. There's been a lot of engagement through Zoom, but taking an exam on Zoom and then taking a Viva to check the authenticity, that's a very new approach. And even when somebody has subscriptions to an Extra Marks, to EduComp, and using all those technologies, even then, if you have to rely on Zoom, I think a lot of app developers have to now rethink on what they're doing. I think there's a big glitch in the user experience part of whatever technology they're building. So thank you, Apu sir. Very nice insight though. And it will be an example. I hope we'll take this to the white paper. That taking exams through Zoom, that's a very innovative approach, simply invigilation through technology. Thank you so much, Appuji. So now let's hear it from Kesar ma'am. So ma'am, your 3 minutes start now. Over to you.
Good evening to the entire panel here. I think I'm the only one lady out here, so it doesn't matter. It was great to hear. Yes, you rightly said what Appu sir has taken up the approach. Even I've heard it for the first time. I've been through so many webinars, and yes, I heard it for the first time. And congratulations for giving me also a wonderful idea. Because what we did was, the challenge that we faced is, see, I'm in a city, Kurukshetra, Haryana, and of course it is there are no problems with technology or understanding or internet, and everything is fine, and the parents are also quite well used and equipped with doing downloading and doing everything Zoom and all that. They are very used to it. But the problem was that what the children were doing was, they were, when we asked them to switch off the video and the audio for better connectivity, and there were bandwidth problems also. So what they did was, a few of them, they escaped from there. The teacher was teaching, it showed the user is logged in, but the student was not there. So what happened was, my IT teacher who was there, she said that, ma'am, this is not fair. We cannot trap it. We don't know whether the child is there or not unless and until the video is there. And if so many, understand, 35, 40 people video going on, the bandwidth was being affected and the proper connectivity was not there. So what we did was, alternatively, now when the chapter was taught, the topics were divided just like you did today, 3-minute talk by the children. And so taking in around 15-20 children at one time in one classroom, they were given the topics earlier, and they had to speak on that topic using Zoom. So one thing was, they got a chance to speak instead of rather on the listening end, because when the teacher was teaching and asking the questions, the children could not answer properly also, and their answer could not be heard properly due to, again, internet problems and connectivity issues. So when the teacher was teaching, she did not have the real feel whether the children are really listening, understanding, and like in the classroom, what happens if they want to ask something, they raise their hand and they immediately ask it. But here it was not possible. So when we did these sessions, after 2 or 3 days, a teacher takes up this session, and then what happens is, there's a recapitulation instantly there, that yes, what she taught has been understood by the children, and in fact they get pretty excited in speaking. So even students of classes 9 and 10, and the difficult topics that were covered, when they got back to us through Zoom, was really, I mean, it felt like, yes, what has been delivered has gone through and has sunk in into the children. That was one. Now the junior children, again, what happened was, the parents were more than happy to let them not do anything at home. They were getting homework, they were getting worksheets on WhatsApp, everything. We are not connecting the junior students to Zoom, because that was not I mean, we somehow felt it would not work. So we were not connecting them on Zoom. What we were doing is, we were giving them assignments and worksheets, but The parents were creating a challenge because, as you know, mothers are there at home along with the entire family. So it was an extra pain in the neck to get the work done from the children because the children were not able to do those things on their own. So to ease this out, then we, of course, what we did was we introduced an art class and a music class for the children. I mean, a video lesson and a video lesson on music, and a video lesson on art, and in between supported with yoga as and when required. Like one day it went art, one day it went music, music and dance, and one day it went yoga, like that. In that manner we are doing it. So now what is happening is that the children are hooked. They're hooked. They're waiting for that video to come arrive from the this thing, and after that is there, then they also want the worksheet also to be done. So in this way we just handle the challenges which came up for the juniors as well as for the seniors. So overall, yes, it's been working well for us now. Connectivity, as I said, is not a very big issue, and the children are rather interested in looking forward to the classes. Another aspect is, see, what is happening is most of the parents are also sitting and watching the classes which are going on, teaching done by the teachers. So the teacher is more planned because she knows that my audience is not only children, the parent, the mother or the father is also there. So she's better planned, and the parent is getting a fair idea that yes, what teaching is being delivered inside the classroom. They are much assured. They like the quality of the teachers. They like the content being delivered by the teachers. So I would say here that वो एक तीर से दो निशान, I mean, बड़ी आसानी से हो गया solved for us. So we are really happy with this, and this is how the challenges are there and we being dealing with it. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Kesar ma'am. So it's a very nice combo of teaching and customer relation going on at the same time. So it's basically content delivery and marketing going on simultaneously in that very class. It's very good. It's a nice approach to look at things. And even for parents, I think it'll increase their satisfaction level and their sense of belongingness towards the institution, which typically parents don't feel. So it'll be a good time to revive their thinking as well. So great. Thank you so much, Kesar ma'am, for sharing those thoughts with us. I think we can take away two big learnings from you. First, that flip learning worked for you very well by giving your students the responsibility to teach you and giving them 3-minute talking slots. And second, the video promo with the worksheet worked very well for you. So this video promo idea is being used by a lot of principals across even India and other countries, because if the teacher is good at content and he makes an interesting teaser video, it'll actually tease students to study. So the teasing has to be very good in the video. So content has to in any way pinch the student. So thank you, Kesar ma'am. So we have amongst us somebody who'll share a different perspective on education. He's Professor Ujjwal Chaudhary, who's currently the Pro Vice Chancellor for Adamas University, Kolkata. And he has been very instrumental in the media education sector of India. He was the founding director for Symbiosis Institute of Mass Communication, was the director for Whistling Woods, and a lot of media institutions across India. So let's hear it from Professor Chaudhary now. Over to Professor Ujjwal.
Thank you, Daksh. Thank you for inviting me for the third time in your series of webinars. And among these 3 times, today we have the least number of participants, but the best experiences shared. I am really happy to note the experiences shared by the 3 honorable principals a bit earlier, and each one had something new to contribute. Each one had something, a newer perspective. I was noting down points as well as I was listening to them. We deal in higher education. My youngest student is 18 years old, and the oldest student is 23 years old, 24 years old. So we deal in higher education. The problem of technology is slightly lower in our case. In most cases, they are already habituated to some of the EdTech, educational technologies in some way or the other. General technologies of communication as well. So comparatively, the challenge is lesser than my colleagues who have just now spoken. But how they have ingenuously brought solutions is very impressive. Certain things that we are doing is like we are taking a self video about the topic in 7-8 minutes. So we note down the most important aspects of the topic, suppose we are talking about television journalism, if I'm talking about television journalism, or if I'm talking about the role of public relations and how does it differ from advertising, if this is the topic. So on a self video of 5 to 8 minutes, we bring in the central points of that topic. What we would have actually spoken over 40 minutes or 50 minutes. It's tough. It's actually very tough. Summarized in 8 minutes. And that's one thing that we also share. Flipped classroom is something that we often do earlier also, and now even more. We send the study material first and let the students study that, and then we come back to discuss. So what is self video? For schools, one of the suggestion is, if you can give a task to students to transform each science chapter into a model. So if there is a chapter on solar system, a particular chart or model with things available easily at home or nearby. So basically paper, gum, if there is a need for some material, some, any form of material, whether it's metal or something. So with all that, or nearby shop, if anything is available from that, if all science chapters can be turned into models, and these models can be showcased on Zoom, and a critical analysis of that can be done, so that they develop it further, and after the lockdown is over, when they bring this and a huge exhibition can be put up. I have seen before lockdown, or much before lockdown, I was a chief guest in a school, and I saw while I went to inaugurate the model show, I was astounded. From class 6 to 12, students, whatever their science topics are, were divided. The class was divided as per the chapters, and a group of 2 or 3 students put up a model. In this case, because students are alone, they can have a model or a chart alone, all by themselves. And by doing it, that chapter will be very well studied as well. And the whole school put up, where I had gone, whole school looked like an exhibition ground, sort of exhibition. Every classroom was an exhibition. And class-wise, batch-wise, it was given. It was very beautiful. And this is one thing I would like to suggest. We are using Google Class along with Zoom. We are using Google Class also. That's also quite good, because Google Class has the opportunity of uploading PDFs, PPTs, and everything that we normally use in higher education. We are using Google Spreadsheet for attendance, and for verification, we are also doing it through WhatsApp group of the batch. The batch also sends present sir, present ma'am on the WhatsApp group. And if the class starts at 9:30, the Google spreadsheet and the WhatsApp group attendance time will end at 9:40, within 10 minutes. So they're supposed to give attendance within 10 minutes, but usually they give in the first few minutes. As you know, in Google spreadsheet, anyone writing attendance, the time will be noted there. And obviously in the WhatsApp group as well. So that's how we are doing it. WhatsApp group can be very effectively used even in schools, with parents, with students, depending on which class the students are of. A creative work also we are giving, because we are a media school. My university is 10 different schools, but I am also dean of the media school, apart from being pro vice chancellor. So we are giving a lot of script writing, painting, creative writing tasks. So we give a theme. On this theme, you develop a short story and script writing and all that. Then ask them to recite a poetry. We are doing that. Recite a poetry, send the audio as a podcast sort of thing to WhatsApp group. Or make a video. The poetry is in the sound and related visuals can come in. So it becomes a sort of a short film that can come. Last point, because my time is over. So what we are deciding is that after the lockdown also, we may not have all 5 days for class. So normally we do 5 days class. We may have 1 day study from home, work from home, 4 days. That will reduce the pain of the students and the teachers to come every day. And the more theoretical aspects of teaching can be done on that day, which requires more of practical, laboratory, and meeting together in groups. They will be done in the other 4 days. So either Monday or Friday, one of the days would be study from home. That's one of the plans being thought. I know in UGC also they are thinking on this. That could be going ahead, one of the major impact on higher education system of this lockdown and corona crisis. Every crisis has to be an opportunity. This is an opportunity of turning crisis into, this is a possibility of turning crisis into an opportunity of rather going up on the digital scale or digital ladder and bringing in edtech within education. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Ujjwal sir. So since now we have listened to everybody, I think there's one very good learning from even Ujjwal sir, that let's do one day every week as study from home, so that technology and on-ground studies, keep going hand in hand, because in this time, in such kind of times when viruses go berserk, I think there'll be a lot of changes that will come in the school and the teaching space. So the important thing before we end or conclude this talk, once we'll be back to school, there will be a post-corona world in education that we will all experience, that we will all see, which would be a different kind of a student, which will be a different atmosphere. And I think a very tech-savvy student will be there in the post-corona world with us. I think only 3 capabilities would, become critical in the coming times for an educator and even for a student, because all the redundant tasks will be taken up by technology. And these 3 things will be, the first one will be creativity, because that's something that even AI cannot do. Second is wisdom, which is understanding of what's good and what's bad for you. And third would be critical appreciation or thinking of things, or critical analysis of things for your better understanding. These 3 capabilities are something which will keep humans always better than technology. And even AI won't be able to replace these 3 capabilities. So to develop these, there will have to be education mechanisms which stimulate kids to think on these lines and work on these lines. So as a media organization, the best part that any media organization has is we can blow things up very quickly, and we can give a big platform to anybody who's doing great work. And why we do that? Because that becomes a best practice which can be emulated across different platforms. So we as an organization are starting something called the School Creativity Challenge, where we'll try to find out the most creative school in all across South Asia. And to judge that, what we'll be doing is we'll be giving you a small note, which you'll also receive after this talk. And that will ask you to share the most creative things happening within your school. You can share that as a school leader. You can tell your teachers to share that. You can tell your students to share whatever they're doing at home. This has to be about creativity. That what new innovative thing are you doing at home right now? Share that with us. The best ones, make it to the magazine. And the one best approach, or the most innovative or most disrupting approach that we find amongst all this, will get a cash prize of 51,000 from Blub World. And you'll be awarded in our global education meet that happens after some time. So that's basically, again, to find out newer things, creative things, because this is the most critical capability that will keep all of us better than tech. And we won't ever get redundant or mundane as humans. Because as on date, a lot of jobs are being lost. A lot of risk is getting built up on everybody's livelihood just because of technology. And in education, it's a very, very dire problem at the moment, because sharing information or giving information to a student is not critical anymore. Education technology can do it. The only thing that a teacher can do is find a talent and nurture it. The talk is going to end in less than a minute. Thank you, people, for being with us today. If you liked the whole talk and would like to participate next, please open your audio and say a big yes. And then we'll conclude the talk with that yes.
Yes, thank you very much. It was
a
learning opportunity for
Yes, sure.
us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for sharing time. Thank you so much for being with us today. Hope to see you again soon.